Okay, you're welcome. My name is Legendary Boss 247, and in this video, I'll be showing us how to take accurate measurements if you want to make a female trouser. Now, ideally, if you want to make a female trouser, the person is supposed to be putting on a trouser, right? You will need to measure the thigh, and sometimes you need to measure your crotch depth. So you would need the person to put on a trouser if you want to take accurate measurement, especially for we the male designers. If you want to take measurement for a female, right? So this is what you do if you want to take measurements for a female trouser. The first thing you want to take is the waist of the trouser. Now the waist depends on the trouser style you're making, if it's a high waist, a low waist, or a normal waist trouser. Now what she's putting on here is a little bit high waist trouser, so you want to measure at that point, and what we have here is 29, right? And then of course you want to measure your hip, the hip. Now you're measuring around the fullest point of the hip, which is what I have here, right? You look around your tape, make sure it is at the fullest point of the hip, right? And what we have here is 40, right? And then the next thing I want to measure is the thigh, right? You measure around, again, the fullest point of your thigh here, just around the crotch depth there. And what we have here is 24 inches, right? And then of course you can measure around your knee this way, and what I have here is 18 inches. Now you want to measure the round knee not too tight, so that the person will be able to squat down with their trousers, right? So if you measure this too tight, and if the fabric is not stretchy, your client will not be able to squat down when they put on the trouser, right? Another thing you measure is the round ankle. Now this must be wide enough for them to be able to wear the trouser and to pull it out, especially if your fabric is not stretchy, right? So we have the waist, we have the hip, we have the thigh, we have the knee, and then the ankle. Now other measurements you need to take is, one, the waist to the hip. Waist to hip. Now this depends on where your trouser is starting from. Like for this high waist trouser now, she has a waist to hip of 7.5 inches. 7.5, right? If it were to be a normal trouser, this would be around 5.5, right? So this is about 2 inches higher than a normal trouser, right? And another thing you take is your waist to knee. Again, starting from where they want to put the trouser on their waist. If it's a high waist, if it's a normal waist, or a low waist, whichever, you place your tape there. You take your waist to hip. I have 7.5 in this case. Waist to knee, we have 23 here, or 22. Let's go for 22 here. And then the full length of the trouser. For this full length here, I have 44. That is to the floor. Taking it to the floor, or wherever you want to stop, if it's a short or a three-quarter, whichever, or you want to stop at the ankle there, you take your measurement. Now to the ankle here, we have 41 here. If I'm taking it to the ankle, we have 41. Now another very important measurement you need to take is your crotch depth. Now your crotch depth is from the waist where your trouser is to this opening between your legs here. That is the crotch depth. Now it can be measured, although we are going to be giving you formulas to use in the case where you forgot to measure the crotch depth, or you were sent measurement without crotch depth. We'll give you a formula. But if you want to measure your crotch depth, the crotch depth measurement is a measurement from the waist to this opening here. This opening here, where the trouser parts like this, that is the crotch depth here. Now from what we have here, her crotch depth is 10 inches. 10. From here to here, 10 inches for her crotch depth. Another way you can get your crotch depth is by measuring your inseam. The inseam of the trouser is this side. This is the inseam inside of the leg here. This is the inseam of the trouser. Now let's assume we have a full length to the floor as 44. And you measure from your inseam here to the same floor as 34. That simply tells us that the crotch depth is 10 inches long, right? So those are the two ways you can measure for your crotch depth from the client. If they are putting on a trouser and you are with them, you can get your crotch depth. One, I told you that you use your eye to gauge a straight line from here to here. This is 10 inches. Or you can simply take your length either to the floor or to the ankle or to anywhere, and then compare it with your inseam measurement. Inseam measurement. So the difference between the length of the trouser and the inseam measurement gives you your crotch depth. So those are basically the measurements you need to take if you want to make any trouser. So that is what we have to do in this video. In the next video, we'll be seeing how to use these measurements to draft a female trouser. Thanks for watching. My name is Legendary.